Hello.
Can you hear me, John?
Sweet. Thank you.
Ah,
Hi, Glenda.
there we go. It's saying my muted now.
Alrighty. 2 seconds. Is what happens, like, if you had to reset your life and you had to start all over again, what would happen? Like, what would you do differently? I call it zero-based thinking. So, like, what would you do? Like, if you could start from scratch, like, what would happen? Who would you be? Like, who would you want to be? And what would you do? Well, what's the things? And I recommend writing this down and brainstorming, and even making like a little like a little mind map, and just saying, oh, I will do this, I'll do that, I'll do this. Brainstorming. That was the word I was looking for. And it's not so much like, people ask me, John, like, what do I do? What do I do? And it's not about doing things. It's not about doing the things. It's about the person that you need to become. You need to become a certain identity. When I was made the shift from creating double digit coaching, I needed a shift. I had to shift from being a personal trainer who just would go in and train my clients and leave to being an online coach and running things for myself and being the leader of my own business instead of being umbrellaed under a gym. So to be able to do that, I had to have an identity shift from being that fat kid who got bullied and would get walked over on. I had to have an identity shift to get out of that, and that's when I started playing soccer competitively and stuff like that. And even with me, it's quite funny. You can find it funny. This one, it's me. This was me before I started personal training. I was in a very bad place. I would go party all the time, and I couldn't even get a job. I couldn't get a job anywhere, or if I did have a job, I would just do it for a couple of months and then I gave up. And fast track 7 years later, on this photo, a lot of things have changed, and the person I had become, and it started with small steps. It didn't happen overnight, and Rome wasn't built in a day, and yeah, it will never be built in a day. And so making those small steps of wanting to change, but it all has to come with a decision. One decision that enough's enough, and I'm not going to be this person anymore. I'm not going to be the class clown and be the goofball anymore. I'm going to actually become serious, and I have to make some changes and addressing the pink elephant in the room. And what do I have to change? What don't I like, and why am I still doing this? So that was mine, and it all started by choices and the momentum and just creating almost small steps. As we talked today, Glenda, you are a little bit upset because it's 1.6 kilos, but if you lose 1.6 kilos every week, holy frick, 10 weeks, you've lost 16 kilos. Like, and it's like when I was doing personal training, and then like they're like, oh, John, I've been doing this personal training for 3 months. You've got all these clients, and I've done it for 3 months, and I have 3 clients. And then I'm just like, okay, but if you keep going, eventually you're gonna get better. Plus, a client in a month, and if you do a good job, it's gonna grow anyways, and then you'll be okay. But if you give up now, you're gonna go back to the job you're not passionate about, and then you're going to be unhappy again. And that's the same with health and fitness, is that if you decide to throw in the towel, the alternative isn't very good. You're going to go back into that painful place again, and no one wants to be in that painful place. And what really helped me was that I found mentors. I found mentors to fast track my results. And what I'll do is that I'll have different mentors of different levels. So I would have mentors that were on the internet who were super um, successful. And my favorite when I was younger and first getting into this was Richard Branson, who owns Virgin. So he was my favorite. I just liked his personality and all the stuff he did for the environment and stuff like that, and how he had like, I don't know, 200 companies, and if he didn't like something, he's just like, oh, I didn't like how I was treated. I'm gonna see if I can do it better. So I really liked that from him. And then I had the owner of my personal training college. He was another mentor, and then there was my coach who coached me through personal training. He was another mentor, but they were all different levels of mentors. And then what I'll do is certain characteristics that I liked of them, I would try and be like, oh, that's really cool, like how he approaches this situation this way, or how he talks in this certain way, and just little things there that'll add on, that I admire, and I'll add it on to myself and take it on board. I hope that makes sense. So just finding something that you can kind of model or match a little bit, or even with me growing up, my hero is Cristiano Ronaldo, so I would model certain things from him, and stuff like that. So I think you guys probably have heard me say that before. And like, you have so much power than you actually think. Like, that's the big thing that people think, like, a lot of people think that they're born into this world, and that's it, and they just take what they're given, and that's that. But it's not true. If you really want to have an impact, or if you want to change, and if you don't like something in your life, you are more than powerful, and you're more than capable of actually make those changes, just like old mate over here. So, but small steps and making the right choices, and the right choices will all compound. Imagine the stories and the self-doubt that comes to your head and mind all the time, which is super important. And I know sometimes I repeat myself a lot through these calls, but it's important that I carry on with the message, even though some of it can seem repetitive. Is that our brain filters, like, it only intakes 10%, and the rest is unconscious. So what I have to do is that some of the stuff might sound similar, but if I say it's in one call in a certain way, it'll click for one person and it won't click for the other. So it's just that's why I have to repeat myself. And we all take in things differently because we have different lenses on, and we all see reality differently. And if you're gonna fail, we're all gonna fail. Of course, we're gonna fail. I failed 1,000 times. Like Michael Jordan, he's the greatest basketballer of all time. But he said, like in my career, I failed so many shots. Like there's so many times where I was expected to step up, and I was not known as the one who would get the final shot and win the game. But the records of how many shots I missed is just crazy. I actually had a stat about it, which is out of this world. But he kept on failing forward, and he got better and better and better. And what I like about Michael Jordan, and the same with Ronaldo, is that they were talented. They were talented, but their best asset was actually their work rate, and they put in the work every single day to become the greatest, or one of the greatest. And triggers are something that I really want to talk about as well, and understanding how triggers work. So you jump on the scale, and you don't like the reading, right? So you're triggered, and you're like, oh, I only lost 500 grams this week, and I'm going extra hard. Like, what's the point anymore? What's the point? That's what I used to think. I was like, what? I've done an hour of cardio. I'm hitting the weights. I'm eating clean. I'm following my calories. What's going on? And then I'm all upset. And then one of the other trainers is like, oh, well, I saw you drinking a lot of water when you trained. I was like, oh yeah. But the thing is that, to manage those triggers and manage the emotions. And what I also do is that I'll take it out on others. So, like I'm having a challenging time, and something would happen, and like, okay, I've got a problem with this client, or and this came up, and oh, like I'm running out of time and I need to train today, and stuff like that, and all these thoughts will accumulate, and then I'll get more emotional and I'll be getting more triggered, and all of a sudden, I'm randomly snappy at my partner. So being aware of your emotions, and the best thing to do, I think I've said this in other videos, is look at the facts, because the facts is the most important thing. And if you can go from being in an emotional state to stepping back, breathing, and actually thinking logically, okay, like let's look at the facts and the best way to move forward. If the weight hasn't dropped, be like, okay, have I ate, like, have I been sticking to my nutrition? Have I been exercising enough? Has everything going okay? Is my sleep okay? And really looking at the facts, instead of just like what old Johnny used to do and just get really upset and be like, and quit and stop, which would bring me back to the pain. And triggers are pretty much that you're scared, and that's like your brain just firing and just being aware. And another point I want to talk about that I was thinking about today was credit cards are very similar to your health, right? Credit cards are very similar to your health. So, right, if you use a credit card and you get into debt, you pay interest, right? We all know that. And it's the same with your health. So if you don't take care of your health early, and if you don't put in the time, you're going to be paying for it later on. You're going to be paying interest with your life. So it'll be either that you might pass away young. You might your health, your quality of life might be affected. So if you don't pay for it now, if you don't put the work in now, you're going to be paying for it later. And I thought that was a really cool way of interest. And it's really important that we actually choose our thoughts and what we want to listen to. And there's the negative thoughts that pop in and the positive. And when a negative thoughts comes in, a lot of people give in to the negative, but we actually have a choice saying, you know what, like, challenge your thoughts and challenge yourself. It's like, is this thoughts and is this story that I'm telling myself, is this going to support me in any way, shape or form, or is it going to get me into a depressed state? Well, if something's going to get me in a depressed state, maybe I shouldn't be thinking about it. And another thing is like facing the facts. And with the weight loss industry, we have been brainwashed over and over and over again. And we sell these quick fix things like drink this protein shake and you'll lose weight really quickly. And if you don't lose weight really quickly, it almost seems that you're not doing that good. And it's interesting, our chat today on the comments, Glenda, with your weight loss, it's that even now with all of this mindset stuff that we talk to in double digit coaching, we're all aware that we play the long game, and everyone in the group plays the long game. But even that, still we are affected by the weight loss industry with the unexpected, the unrealistic weight loss that they have. Like, you're supposed to lose like 4 kilos in the first week. After second week, it should be 3 kilos, and the next week after that, it'll be 2 kilos, and then 1 kilo after that, or something ridiculous like that. But everyone's bodies are different. We all have different bodies, and we all go we all have our own journey. We all run our own race. And because we're all different, and we are all in different ages, stages, metabolisms, fitness levels, there's just so much. It's like my friend Liam, who coached me for a marathon. So I took almost 6 hours to finish the marathon, and he almost finished it in 3 hours. He was 3.5, and I was 15 minutes and 5 hours and 50 minutes. But the thing is, I didn't run my own race, and if I focused on Liam, then I wouldn't have enjoyed the marathon, and I wouldn't have enjoyed the process, and it would have wrecked the whole journey for me. But just just actually thinking, okay, like when it's emotion, detach yourself from the emotion and be like, all right, is this realistic? Is it not? And just drop the unnatural expectations of yourself. And every single problem in the world can be solved by being resourceful. And how can we be more resourceful? Even the smallest things. Okay, maybe if I park my car away, if I make a conscious effort to just take the stairs, if instead of maybe for date nights with my partner, or go on the weekend, maybe instead of going, I don't know, to a restaurant, maybe we could do a explore and do a beach walk, or do go on climb, I don't know, like a hill or a mountain, or whatever it may be, and changing the activities of leisure to help with your health and fitness um, would be a resourceful thing to do. And thinking about the little resourceful things that you can change up, instead of having, I don't know, Coke, have soda water, or Diet Coke. Soda water obviously would be better, um, and all the small little things that make a big difference. Instead of having a chocolate bar, have a protein bar, and yeah, and just being resourceful as we can to actually get the goals. But we all know what to do. We all know what to do. It's eat well, eat within your calories, follow the meal plan templates that we have. We know what to do, exercise and nutrition, but it's about controlling our feelings and going from point A to point B. That's where the battle is won. And when we feel the impulses and the negativity, just be like, whoa, stop, think, John, think, think logically. Don't go in a place of emotion, because usually in a place of emotion, you're going to get yourself into trouble. So, yeah, that's today's